This is going to be the second session on the binomial model, and I wanted to really focus on the mechanics of it. And so the starting parameters, actually, the actual parameters to the model are the stock price, it's the strike price. So basically, you can have a strike price that's above the stock price or below the stock price, depending on how you actually want to do the call or the put. And then you have this U divided by D multiplier, which takes into account the variability of the security. You have the rate, which is the R, and again, that's an annual rate that you then take down to the duration of the time period that you're looking at for the option. And T is the time period for the option. And then the N is the number of steps that you actually want to break that down, that duration to. So if you have, let's say, if you have a month and you want to break it down into 30 steps, you're basically breaking that duration of 1 month into individual days where you're actually looking at the movement of the security. The next step is to compute the risk neutral probability, which is P. And again, there's the equation right there, which takes into account the rate as well as the D and the U, which again, like as I mentioned to you before, that's actually you actually derive those from the variability of the security. And it's really, really important to keep in mind that they're supposed to be based on what the future variability is going to be, or volatility is going to be. But we don't know that. So all we can do is use the past history of the volatility as a means to look at what might be going on in the future. But in reality, you have to make some adjustments and you have to account for what's going on at the time or what might happen in the future. So if you've got earnings coming out, let's say in a few weeks, then you may want to make an adjustment based on that because there might be some high expectations which could actually increase volatility. And so again, based on the history, you may want to increase that volatility to meet some of the future expectations. And then the way you build the tree, because in the reality, the binomial model is a tree. And again, I'll have in the future session, I'll show you the actual diagram of it, is you're going to be using again, the U and the D. And basically, as what you see right there, basically it's you're using that equation right there, which gives you the probability of it moving up by a certain percentage, as well as moving down by a certain percentage. And then at the expiration, obviously, if it's a call, if the price of the security is above the strike price, then there's real value in that call option. On the put option, if the stock price is below the strike price, then there is real value in that put option. And the way you actually come back, or the way you actually get to a price point of the call or the put is by working backwards. So you expand the tree to get to the final price points, based on number of steps that you take. And then once you have those price points at the end, then you work your way back using the discount, which is the P that I'm showing on the second bullet. And that's how you discount it back to the current date, and that's how you get a price. And again, I'll show an example on one of the future sessions to make it a little clearer. But this is basically the mechanics of how we actually use the binomial model to actually price out the value of call options as well as put options.